Hi there! It's been a while since I made a video where I put action figure heads on fashion doll bodies. And after making this one here and the one that you will see tomorrow, I realized I definitely missed it. Anyway, let's start with this girl here. This is a pretty recent release by YMToys, and her item name or item number is YMT098, and she does have movable eyes. I guess lately all YMToys heads do come with movable eyes. I'm still not 100% that I'm in love with movable eyes, but I do like the YMToys aesthetic a lot, so I tried out this girl here at first. She does come with a variety of different hairstyles. You can get 6 different ones with the exact same face mode and face screening. And this here is variant F. I guess you always get the large boxes when the hair is a little bit longer. The box is not in perfect condition, but it was shipped very safely with a card box around the actual box, and that's something I really appreciate. The box itself, the plastic box here, has some scratches, but that is not a big issue. The head is protected by a plastic bag and also this little plastic piece that keeps the hair in place, but I removed it in one go. I have this girl lying around for over a month now, but I did not have a look so far since I wanted to keep that for the video, and I'm very curious how hair and head is connected since, as I said, this girl here does have movable eyes, and I can already say they did a very good job with the hairline. Nothing looks chunky, and I do like the transition between the headpiece or hairpiece and the faceplate. Everything is held in place by 4 magnets. I think they're installed very precisely, very nicely done. I think this method is a very good design choice. The head looks very clean and nicely done from the inside. At first, the eyes are a little bit stiff, but later on they are very easy to be moved even without the plastic pieces that should help you to move the eyes, but you will see them in a second. I have to say, I think she looks in person better than on her promo pictures, which is rarely the case. But overall, I think her promo pictures look very sharp, or her face is very dramatic. And it is not as dramatic in person, I would say. The face definitely has some more softer edges. The screening. I'm not a very huge fan of the screening. I think it is a little bit simple. And at least my head does have a few damages. You can see it here way better on the picture. I mean, this head here is very tiny and you cannot see these missing lashes on the right eye directly when you have the head and hands, but in case you would like to photograph your doll or your action figure, that is simply not so nice. And also on the other eye, on her left eye, on the top lashes, there's also a little scratch. I mean, it is a mass-produced item, so tiny quality issues like these can happen. I paid 38 euros in total for this set, and at the moment at least it is a little bit more expensive, but of course you always or near to always have sales going on AliExpress or coupons or whatsoever, and it is a pretty good price for a head with movable eyes. And as I said, the material, the design, everything is very good. But still, I'm not so happy about the little defects, and I think it's only fair to address them. Her hair is connected, and for an action figure head, this girl has a ton of hair. I cannot remember, and I'm pretty sure that I could if it would be the case. I think I never got an action figure head with so much hair in such a dense rooting. Even her haircut is pretty at the end. It is not only chopped, they really gave her a nice style for the end of the hairstyle. I really like the way they did it. It looks very natural. But this girl here is shedding like crazy. She loses so much hair. I don't know. It does not seem that she really loses the hair from her roots, but she does have a lot of loose stray hair between her rooted hair, if that makes sense. I mean, it is not big of a deal, but it's the first time I had that with an action figure head, and it was a bit surprising. Of course, she also comes with a neck connector. This time it is not pre-installed. It came together with the movable eye tools together in this extra plastic bag. The neck connector fits her original skin color. It's nothing special, it's just a standard one, but it fits and it works. The tools also do work perfectly, but as I said, the eyeballs on this head here are in general, in my opinion, a little bit loose. So I used a bit putty to secure the eyeballs. You can see it here on a picture. I'm used to use this stuff on dolls, regardless if it is an action figure head or in the past or not only the past. I still collect resin dolls, but I simply use that kind of stuff to hold glass eyes or acrylic eyes or resin eyes. Okay, I just use the stuff to keep eyes in place and resin heads or just BCG resin heads. And I'm doing this for so many years and never really had a problem, so I'm also not afraid for using it in action figure heads. Here you do have the hairpiece. Again, since I was a bit curious if you could take this piece apart easily, and I think that in theory it would be possible. So this is a glued together piece, but they did it very neatly and even painted the lower part to have a smoother connection with the pieces. I really do like that. The only issue is Kanekalon is so thin in fiber, and it is a bit of a struggle to put again headpiece or hairpiece and faceplate together without getting hair in between the pieces. And of course, one of her eyes slipped, and so, as you have seen, I decided to use also a bit putty to keep the eyes in place. I bought this head to pair together with a fashion doll body, but still, I know that there are not a lot of reviews for those heads out there, and therefore I will also show you how this head looks on a WorldBox body, because I simply really like this action figure body in particular. The problem with this head here is it is very yellow. It does have a very light skin tone, but also a very strong yellow undertone. And so far, I have not seen that very often with action figure heads. I mean, the thing is with YMToys, I don't think that I have even one single head that does have the same skin tone like another one that is made by the same company. Of course, when it is the same model, just with another hairstyle, they do have the same skin color. But when it is a different model, they do not have the same skin color, and that is so confusing. Here she is on a WorldBox AT203 with its original A cup, and I think style-wise and size-wise it is not a bad match, but skin tone-wise I do not like the match. The head is way too yellow for this pale but still pinkish and maybe a little bit grayish skin tone. Last week I made a review for the True1 Toys body that you can see here. The skin tone of this body here is definitely also on the yellow side, but grayer and maybe even a bit darker than the YMToys head. So I guess there is a chance that the pale version of this body here is a good match for this head, but of course I don't know that since I do not have the pale skin version, and I don't think that will change in the future. But anyway, maybe you do have this one and you would like to try out an affordable head with movable eyes, and I think this head here is definitely a pretty one. Here you do have her also on a WorldBox Light 10 bust, and as you can see, Light 10 would be way too dark for this head here. So now it's time for the fashion doll bodies, and there are a few options. First up is a Mitzi body, and it would be a very affordable option, but the skin tone is simply too light. The Mitzi Super White does have a peachy undertone, so in general, I think fully dressed, it would not even look that bad. Next up is a Mengf Super White, very similar in tone to the Mitzi body. Maybe it is a hint more yellow, but overall similar and a little bit too light for the head. The next Mengf body is in pink white, and I'm still not quite sure which match I like better. I think the body here is also a little bit lighter than the head, also a little bit less yellow, but it is way more visible in person, and on the footage I think this body would match the head better. So I'm a little bit torn between the pink white and here, as you can see, the white version of the Mengf body, which is in person an almost perfect match for the head, but on footage I think it is a bit too dark and the head is maybe a little bit peachier. But actually, these differences are so minor. I simply was intensely discussing internally with myself which body I should use for this head. In the end, I decided to take the darker body because I think in person it looks better, but I'm still not quite sure. Anyway, I took the white Mengf body with double joints for this head, and I do like the combination. Usually, pretty often when I place action figure heads on Mengf bodies with this silicone knob, everything is already perfect. I don't have to do any more step because the head sits secure on the body. But this time, the neck piece, or better said, the neck connector, is a bit wide and the head is a bit loose on the body. So I decided to switch out the silicone piece for the tinier metal neck pack and just used a bit putty. At first, I only used putty inside of the neck connector, but here you can see that I also used a little bit putty between the neck connector and the actual head, because this time the neck connector is a bit loose inside of the head. That's not a big issue and it is also not a bad thing, because when you use this here on an action figure body that does have a wider or thicker neck piece, you can still get the head over this, so it is not a bad thing. But I would like to use the head on a fashion doll body, and the putty does give the head a bit more stability. Off camera, I brushed and also washed her hair to get rid of all the loose hair she had. It definitely gave the Kanekalon hair a better touch, since Kanekalon can be pretty dry sometimes and her hair was definitely on the dry side, and now it is already good hydrated. And this time I even did not use a hot water rinse. I think she already looks good, but of course she needs a styling. I will give her this Xianxian Princess fashion pack plus some extra parts, and since it is a recent buy, you will see the items in detail in a second. She will get the blazer, jacket, and also the red pleather skirt. And since I would like to dress her with an open blazer, I also add this recently bought tube top, a bracelet, and also the belt that belongs to the fashion pack. She also get a mini brand's fashion bag. The red is a hint darker, but I think it's still okay. And she will get some tights, not because of necessity. I will add the tights because of the mini brand's fashion shoes. I do like them, but they do stain your doll feet, and judging from my experience, the tights will avoid the staining. Here you do have the fashion pack up close. It is a fashion pack by Xianxian Princess in the middle range. Price-wise, I would say I paid 12 euros for it. And it is the first time I'm a little bit disappointed. I mean, I was disappointed by Xianxian Princess fashion before, most likely because of the ill-fitting of some pieces. No, I do not mean that the items do not fit on each and every doll. Sometimes when you buy most likely a lower priced Xianxian Princess outfit, the cut or the finishing can be a little bit weird, but that's not the problem here. This piece here is not as nicely finished as actually all other jackets that I ever had in hands made by the manufacturer of the Xianxian Princess line. I mean, it is not a super bad piece, but you can clearly see that the finishing is not perfect. The inner lining is heat sealed around the sleeves, and overall the stitching is good. The fabric feels a little bit plasticky, It is not super bad, but it is also not high quality, and the main problem are the glued on pockets. It is not the first time that I see a fashion piece that does have glued on parts, but usually when it comes to the pockets, they are stitched on. Sometimes they secure parts with glue, but so far they always did a very good job. And this time, for this item here in particular, that is not the case. I can clearly see the glue residues on the left side, and also, the pockets are definitely not even. I mean, I can also see a bit of the glue on the other side, but overall, the left side is worse, and it seems like they used the same shape for the pocket equally on both sides. So to me, it looks a bit like I do have two right pockets or two left pockets. Not sure if that is a design choice or just a not so nice finish, but actually to me it looks like a not so nice finish. And I'm definitely not used to that when I do have Gentian Princess fashion in my hands. And yeah, I know that this here is definitely for a newer clothing series. And I do also have the set with the long pants, so I did not have a look on it because I never do that. I always open up the clothes on camera, but I'm afraid that maybe this is a sign that the quality will decline on those fashion packs. But I don't know. I hope it is not the case, but I'm a little bit upset about this piece here, definitely. However, this set also comes with a pleather skirt in red, and this here is a nice piece. The fabric does have a good stretch to it, so this is a set that can be worn by a lot of different dolls. Of course, not the curvy ones, definitely not, but it's suitable for standard Barbie bodies and of course also for the supermodel bodies. The Velcro is not super bad, maybe not the best one, but this one here is definitely a good Velcro. And the set also does come with a pair of sunglasses. And this is not a piece for a regular standard fashion doll. This is simply a pair of sunglasses for the LOL surprise baby dolls. It also has these little tags or nubs so that you can securely put those glasses on their bigger heads. I don't use these glasses on fashion dolls and I don't think it looks good, but that's of course up to you. If you like them, you can use them. I don't think they will harm your doll head or action figure head. The build is well done. The material is also a little bit stretchy, like the skirt. It is basically the same black belt as for the 50s style dress or set that you have seen in one of my haul videos. This here is just a little bit longer, and the quality is really nice. As I already said, I also added a tube top to wear the blazer open, and this here is also a recent buy. It is a very simple piece, so it is an elastic that does have this plastic curling ribbon material woven into it, and it looks funky. I really like this style, and it does have its ASMR moment. Since it's elastic, it will fit a ton of different doll bodies and it only costs €1.50. I think it's a fun piece. And here you have her. What do you think? Do you think this style suits her character? I think she looks good. I'm still a bit mad about the jacket. I really don't like the glue residue. Maybe I will try to freeze the jacket so I can remove the extra glue at least. But also the inner lining of this jacket is not as good as on the other pieces I have. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to buy this set again and I might get a better one. I'm not sure. I guess over time I will forget about it, but I'm definitely a little bit disappointed. I mean, it matches the head a little bit because I was also a bit disappointed when I realized that she does have a little defect in her face screening. So overall, maybe everything looks still good together, but there are simply some imperfections. But I do have to say that YMToys made an incredible job with carving out the eyes or shaping the eye sockets. I don't know. To me, they look absolutely even. And so far, that was not the case with all other heads that I have with movable eyes. And of course, I had hundreds of them. No, I had exactly 3 other heads that do have movable eyes. But still, none of them did such a great job than YMToys did here. At least not with the symmetry of the eyes in general. For example, the Mr. Z Bing head, which is way more expensive than this head here. This head, the Bing head, had such a beautiful screening. The print of the face up and also the print on the eyes are awesome. So for that, the YMToys set cannot compete with at all. But the sizing of the eye sockets are way more even on the YMToys head, so I'm curious about later or newer releases by this company. I will definitely try out more of them, but I have to say I'm not really in love with the movable eye concept. I still prefer the painted on eyes. But hey, when they decided to make all new releases with movable eyes, I have to accept that and I will try out the ones that I like. So that's for today, and tomorrow we will also get a fashion doll action figure head mix or just a hybrid, and maybe you're also interested in that. I would like to say thank you for watching my videos and also for subscribing because the channel has now over 2,500 subscriptions and I'm very proud of that and happy. So thank you so much for supporting me and my ideas. I hope to see you again in one of my next videos, and until then, I wish you a very great time. Bye!